Hello, dear UPSC aspirants. I am Akriti Kanchi, your mentor from Prep IS, and I have been trying to help you read newspaper effectively and in UPSC relevant manner. All of you who have stopped reading newspaper and who are going to give this year attempt, don't do that mistake. Right? So March newspaper can be and may be included in this year prelims question for sure, and surely for this year mains and also for 2026 attempt. So don't do this mistake of not reading newspaper since prelims are coming closer. In fact, you should give, that's why I'm trying to cover newspaper in very less time, around 20 minutes to save your time. So at least you are going through what is happening around, right? So that you should be aware of. So let's start reading newspaper of 18th March and let's start with the front page. Right? So India's goods trade deficit at 42-month low following dip in gold crude imports. So it's a good news overall, but not so much, right? So this is a kind of prelims fact. Within the balance of payment, there is a current account and there is a capital account. Within the current account falls the merchandise goods, services, remittances, etc. Right? So this forms the part of current account part of the balance of payment, right? So why the India's goods trade deficit was 42-month low? Because right now the import of gold and silver has reduced, and also of crude oil and petroleum has reduced, right? So that is a thing, and exports have also reduced. Ideally, imports should reduce and exports should increase. Though the goods trade deficit is low because of the more lower imports, and exports have also reduced, though exports should increase. That is the ideal way of reducing the trade deficit. Okay, let's move to the next article. Here, trade discussions with US positive, says official. Here we'll only take one point. You should know this comes under GS2 paper, India USA bilateral relations. So we are trying, there is a thing called Mission 500, where India and US is aiming at increasing trade between the two countries from $200 billion now to $500 billion, okay, in future by 2030. That is what is the aim, right? Let's move to the next article. It's a very interesting article. New government has come in Delhi. They are bringing a lot of new initiatives, which is always very much welcome. Police to create Shishtachar squads to check harassment of women in public spaces. So this comes under GS paper 2, welfare schemes for vulnerable sections, here being women. So NCR has been considered unsafe for women by a lot of reports, right? So that is why special measures are being taken. So Delhi police will launch dedicated squads called Shishtachar. In English, it means etiquette. They will teach etiquettes to people how to behave around women, right? To check sexual harassment of women in public places. 30 Shishtachar squads will be, deployed, comprising men and women. Okay, because there is a higher rate of crimes against women. So they will, work along with a lot of market welfare associations, resident welfare associations, and they will they will file take the cases under section 74, criminal force against a woman with the intent to outrage her modesty, and section 78, stalking of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. So stalking is also a crime, right? It also affects and outrages modesty of women. Let's move to the next article, directly to the editorial. There also, okay, sorry, before that we also have some prelims fact again. Cheetah Gamini, this is a name of a cheetah. Gamini and her 4 cubs are released into wild in Kuno National Park. Kuno National Park is in Shivpuri district of Madhya Pradesh. Very important, very simple. It has come in prelims. So Cheetah and Gamini and 4 cubs were released into the wild at Kuno National Park. The release raised the number of cheetahs in the wild to 17, and 9 felines are still staying in enclosures. So slowly, after checking everything, they are releasing animals into the wild so that they can coexist with the original, the species which were there from before. Let's move to the next article. Again, from prelims point of view, this one, recipe for failure. So recently, I mean yesterday only, since yesterday, US is now striking preemptive targets on Houthis. Houthis are the rebel group working from Yemen. Okay, so you should know Houthis are working from, what are their bases? The bases are Sana'a, which is Yemen's capital, and Sada, which is mountainous base of the rebels. Okay, and they are Houthis. They're also called Ansar Allah. They're named like this. right? So it was presumed that they are going to attack shipping lanes of the Red Sea. So before that could happen, US made some preemptive strikes on the Houthis, right? So Houthis, who captured Sana'a in 2014, declared war against Israel in 2023 in solidarity with the Palestinians after Israel launched the war on Gaza, and US thinks that Houthis are backed by Iran, right? Let's move to the next article. Nothing is important here. Now this one. In the opinion page, the barriers faced by construction workers. This comes under GS paper 3, employment related issues, and also in GS paper 2, issues faced by laborers and everything, right? So construction is the fastest growing sector, contributing about 9% of national GDP, and it will reach $1.4 trillion by 2025, right? So recently what has happened, L&T chairman and MD has said, see, a lot of construction workers are not wanting to work. There's a labor shortages because of a lot of welfare schemes, okay? So that is not the only issue. There are several other issues that, was not observed by the L&T CMD, right? So construction workers face a lot of several issues that this article is trying to point out. They are facing fragmented employment landscape characterized by frequent relocations, okay? High job insecurity they have, they can be fired anytime, inconsistent access to welfare benefits, and precarious working conditions. They don't have good sanitation, water, good quality water, food, right? So building and other construction workers act 1996 is there, where they are given accessing welfare entitlements. They can access welfare entitlements under this act, but that has not been implemented in the right manner. State construction boards have collected 70,000 crore cess, but they have not again implemented it in the welfare, for the welfare of construction workers. So these are several issues, right? A primary barrier for construction worker is they to access the welfare scheme, they need to produce some documents, but they are not able to produce documents to every new place that they are going, right? So it is obtaining the maintaining the documentation required for welfare registration, proof of identity, date of birth, residence are essential documents that is difficult to get, right? Because they change their places very frequently. That is one of the things. So laborers lack permanent addresses, and it is difficult for them to secure these kind of documents, right? So state government is collecting 1 to 2% construction cess under this Building and Other Construction Workers Act, right? So they should try to, and 75% of it is unimplemented, which they should try to, use it for the welfare of them, right? So this fragmented nature should also be dealt with. The lack of digital public infrastructure is also a problem, right? So the article is recommending some measures for construction workers. Unified national labor identification system like One Nation One Ration Card scheme, which can facilitate interstate portability for a worker of Odisha or Bihar can access that benefits in Maharashtra also, right? Portability of welfare benefits, and if BOCW registration, that is building, and other construction workers registrations are linked to UAN on eShram portal, and worker data across states is integrated, right? They could access the entitlements that they deserve, right? So state government should adopt open source digital platforms to improve the accessibility and efficiency of welfare schemes, right? There should be standardized workflows, simplifying documentation protocols by accepting alternative proofs. Investing in skill development programs are also important. Ensuring safe and dignified work environment is equally critical for maintaining workers' health and efficiency, right? Let's move to the next article. Why are electoral reforms necessary? Okay, so this comes under GS paper 2, Election Commission, its powers, electoral reforms, Representation of People Act, 1950 and 1951. Electoral reforms are very necessary. Why? Because it forms the basis of democracy, right? So if there is no proper elections, it is not a democracy, and democracy is the basic structure of our constitution, right? So we are not being ruled by the correct rules under constitution. So what are the legal provision? Article 324 of the Constitution under Part 15, right, provides that superintendence, direction, control of the preparation of electoral rolls for and the conduct of all elections to the Parliament and state legislature will be vested. This power will be vested with Election Commission of India. The preparation of electoral roll is governed by further Representation of People Act 1950 and other rules like Registration of Electors Rules 1960. So earlier how elections were being held, the first two elections 1952 and 1957 were held differently. A separate box was placed for each candidate with their election symbol. Okay, so they could drop a blank ballot paper in the box for that candidate. Okay, so but from the third general election in 1962, that ballot papers with names and symbol of candidates was introduced. Okay, and since 2004, in general elections for the Lok Sabha, EVMs have been used in all constituencies, right? And since 2019, EVMs along with 100% VVPAT has been started. Let's move to the next part. So there are several issues with current elections. Opposition parties allege that large number of bogus and fake voters were added to electoral roll to benefit the ruling party at the center, right? Identical epic numbers for voters belonging to different states like West Bengal, Gujarat, Haryana, and Punjab, right? So, and they are also saying there is why this happened. People were having same epic number because there was decentralized system. Now EC has made it better by including shifting to the centralized database on the Eronet platform. You should know about the Eronet platform, which is centralized system. There are other issues in the elections that people are pointing, which is one is the campaigning process. Star campaigners of most parties have been guilty of using inappropriate and abusive words against leaders of other political parties, addressing caste and communal feeling of electors. Candidates of all major political parties are making huge expenditures, which is really wrong, right? So, Center of Media Studies estimated that the expenditure during 2024 election was around 1 lakh crores, right? So, these kind of expenditure in election will lead to corruption. Of course, the people who have funded the election will want their money back, right? So, Association of Democratic Reforms talks about criminalization of politics, which is being seen as the highest now. Around 251, 46% of the 543 elected MPs in 2024 have criminal cases against them, and 31% have serious charges. So these are serious issues with our election process, right? What are the required reforms? Free and fair election is part of the basic structure, as I told you. Totalizer machine can be introduced that would aggregate votes in 14 EVMs, right? Supreme Court to demand the verification of 5% of EVMs. So people who are coming second and third, and if there is any issue like tampering of the election, they can demand the VVPAT checking, right? So process of linking citizens' Aadhaar number with EPIC cards can also be discussed by checking all the concerns around it, right? So, and EC should be authorized to revoke the star campaigner status if they are violating model code of conduct, right? So these are some things that they can do. And with respect to election expenditure, the law must be amended to explicitly provide the financial assistance by a political party to its candidate. And it should be within the limits of election expenditure, right? And for criminal antecedents, so that we as voters know what are the criminal past of the politician we are going to vote for at least 3 times before election in a widely circulated newspaper in the locality and electronic media should be strictly enforced. Okay, so these kind of things can be done. Let's move to the next article. Yeah, there's an article on foreign affairs only with India and China. In India and China, there was an article where in the previous page, China welcomes Modi's comments, points to 2000-year history of ties. Yesterday, the article had come where PM Narendra Modi had given his interview to in a podcast to an American interviewer. This comes under GS paper 2, India and its neighborhood relations. China welcomed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's statement that India and China have achieved normalcy on the border after his meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping, and the two sides were restoring ties to the pre-2020 status, where they're ensuring that differences don't become disputes. Okay, let's move to the next article. Last article of the day, science page. Yes. So how climate change is affecting India's wheat production cycle. This comes under GS paper 3, climate change and its effects on agriculture, right? So Indian Ocean is warming at an accelerated rate, right? and it is affecting India's monsoon, right? So India's monsoon is very much affected by, because it is the deflection of the southeast trade winds, right? So when the way Indian ocean will behave, it will affect the monsoon, and then it will affect the country's agriculture. So Kharif or summer crop season is starting and ending late because of the delay in the monsoon, and that is leading to delay in the beginning of the Rabi season also, right? And wheat is a Rabi crop, and wheat is getting majorly affected. So this February, India recorded warmest February in 124 years. This period coincides with the beginning of India's wheat harvest season. So wheat will be harvested, right? And this extreme heat poses threat for the country's second most consumed crop, that is wheat, right? Wheat is primarily grown in the northwestern part of Indo-Gangetic regions. The states are Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, and Madhya Pradesh is said to have amazing quality of wheats. Wheat needs a cooler season to grow. That's why Rabi is in the winter season, right? Crop is usually sown between October and December when the winter starts. It is harvested between February and April when the winter ends. That is the Rabi crop season of India, right? So in May 2022, India had prohibited wheat exports because Russia invaded Ukraine. Ukraine is the major wheat producing country, and it has disrupted international availability of food grain. And that's why wheat is very important, right? So increasing global warming is causing heat stress. One second. So this increasing global warming is causing heat stress that triggers significant changes in the biological and development process of wheat. Okay, so its production and quality is also reducing. This is written here. Those changes in strategies to support early sowing of crops in areas that are likely to see early heat waves, right? So that timing should be changed, or introducing improving yield varieties. So different kind of varieties can be introduced which has shorter growth duration. This can be done to ensure the food security, right? Let's read the last article of the day. Pi Day was on March 14. Why is it celebrated? So pi, we all have read about it in the mensuration when we were reading mathematics in our secondary years. 22/7, right? Which leads to 3.14. That's why March 14, which is the month 3, and date 14 is celebrated as Pi Day, right? Which is March 14 every day. It is if you know the anything circular, if you have to calculate like the area of the circle, that is pi r square, and if you have to calculate the this circumference of circle, it is 2 pi r, right? Or 2 into or pi into diameter of the circle. So it is important in physics, astronomy, and engineering. It is considered a constant number, and it is mathematically irrational. Okay, so the first algorithm that calculated pi up to record setting lengths was done by Indian mathematician Srinivas Ramanujam in 1914, right? Space agencies like ISRO use pi to calculate orbits, the positions of planets, elements of rocket propulsion, and spacecraft communication. NASA holds its annual Pi Day challenge online, offering games and puzzles. And Einstein was born on this day, 14th March. It's a very important day. And also another scientist, Stephen Hawking, died on March 14, and is one famous quote that you can always use in essay, right? One of the basic rules of the universe is that nothing is perfect, right? Perfection simply doesn't exist. Without imperfection, neither you nor I would exist, right? So these quote you can use in your essay of Stephen Hawking. Okay, that's it for 18th March. Thank you.